Welcome to the 1 Minute Apologist. We interview the world's leading apologists to provide credible answers to curious questions. Jay, there are Muslims who will say that Paul invented Christianity. Did he?
Oh, this is a typical one. And Muslims love it because they do not like Paul. The reason they don't like Paul is because he's so specific. And what I do whenever Muslims ask this, I say, listen, you have the Quran and then you have the traditions. The traditions are written about 200 years later. And it's traditions that unpack what the Quran is saying. Because the Quran doesn't tell you much about how you're to live. You need to go to the traditions to know how to walk, talk, eat, drink, sleep in every category and to know how to do it and apply it in your daily life. Paul does the same thing to the gospel of Jesus Christ. He takes what Christ said and then he applies it to Ephesus, he applies it to Philippi, he applies it to Corinth. And that's why people don't like him, because he's so applicable and he applies it so specifically. Don't get mad with Paul. Paul didn't invent Christianity, he just applied it in a specific context. And that's why, if you look and see what he did, if Muslims like to say, well, he was the one that invented the Trinity. No, he didn't invent the Trinity. That's right there in Matthew, the last chapter of Matthew, with the Great Commission that we have there. They say that he invented the crucifixion. That's certainly not Paul's invention. If you take a look, you'll see all four Gospels talk about the crucifixion. They say that he invented original sin. Listen, original sin was right back there in Genesis chapter 2 and chapter 3. The entire Old Testament is full about original sin. There's about 79 references to the atonement alone in the Old Testament. So certainly Paul did not invent that. They said that he invented the whole context of the church. Now, Paul certainly adhered to the church, but the church was not invented by Paul. And almost everything that Paul does, you will find antecedents in Christ's ministry, in Christ's teaching. Christ introduces it, doesn't necessarily apply it. Paul takes that introduction and then applies it. No wonder they don't like him.